It's been a long wait, a long winter break, but finally the men's Premier Division is returning. And what a game we have in store for you this evening as East Grinstead take on Surbiton here at Saints Hill. The sun has completely set, the floodlights are taking effect, the crowd are just starting to come in, and it's the first game in the men's Premier Division top 6. The league having been split into two for the second half of the season. The top 6 teams each playing each other home and away to determine who will be crowned this year's men's Premier Division champions. And of course, people who would have been keeping up to date with the first half of the season remember the scenes that we saw here at Saints Hill in East Grinstead's last game back in late November, when a hat-trick from Jamie Wallace saw them overcome a stubborn beast in 3-2 and secure that 6th and final spot in the top half of the league heading into the second half of this season. And that was a 3rd win in a row for East Grinstead, having unfortunately not tasted any success in their first 7 games. So very much a form team in the league at the moment heading into this one. Surbiton, their opponents today, started on fire, winning each of their first 6 games, scoring a ridiculous number of goals in the process. Did hit a bit of a blip though in their last 3 games, 2 losses and a defeat, saw them dropping down the table to 4th as things stand at the moment, but the top 4 teams separated by just a handful of points, so victory for them today and results going the other way could put them firmly back in title contention. It's a long standing rivalry between these two clubs. Most recently, we saw that in action at the Super Sixes indoor finals day, where the 2 teams met in the semi-finals, and what a game that was. A 5-all thriller going to a shootout with Richard Curtis proving to be the hero for East Grinstead with 2 saves in the shootout to see them get through to the final. It was a feisty affair, and plenty of players on show that day will be appearing here once again today. Overall, since the 2005-06 season, these sides have met 32 times. And it's fairly even in terms of the number of wins. 12 for Surbiton, 12 for East Grinstead and 15 for Surbiton. Unfortunately for the hosts tonight, most of those wins for them came in a period between 2007 and 2012, when indeed they played 10 matches against Surbiton and didn't lose a single one of them. However, Surbiton have won 11 of the last 13 meetings between the two, but as mentioned previously, it is East Grinstead who are the form team of these two heading into the back end of the first half of the season, and they will be buzzing, having reached the top 6. Stay with us because the game will be kicking off, wrong terminology, the game will be starting in approximately 13 minutes. For those of you who may have missed the game earlier today, we broadcast East Grinstead's women, who were top of the Vitality Women's Premier Division top 6, taking on a Wimbledon side buoyed by a 2-1 victory over Hampstead and Westminster last weekend. And it was the visitors from South West London who emerged on top once again to cut the deficit to East Grinstead to just a point. And with both Surbiton and Hampstead drawing their other games, that means there is now 2 points separating the top 4 teams in the Vitality Women's Premier Division top 6. Goals for Wimbledon came from Kate Maxey, Fiona Burnett, and from Welsh and GB international Sarah Jones. With East Grinstead really unable to fashion too many chances going forward, Robin Bentley did have a one-on-one with Wimbledon goalkeeper Nikki Cochrane, but the Scottish international stood firm, while Chloe Brown saw a penalty stroke actually very well saved by Cochrane. Plenty of drama, intrigue in that match, and we guess, and I can be pretty certain that more of the same will follow in this one, which will start very, very shortly. Giving a run through of the players to look out for from an East Grinstead perspective. Of course, goes without saying that Jamie Wallace, Canadian international number 7, is certainly the player to watch. A hat-trick in the last game, a crucial hat-trick that saw them qualify and reach the top 6. He scored 8 goals in the first half of the season and proved pivotal going forward. Another player important going forward is Louis Gittins, scoring 6 goals himself in the opening half of the season, and those two combining well. Wallace's Canadian international teammates, who also played an important part in the first half of the season, Balraj Panesar and Finn Boothroyd, are unable to play tonight, so that means we've got a couple of new-ish faces in the East Grinstead men's team. Ali Clift is coming in for his second appearance of the season, and Rob Cope for his first appearance for the first team this season. And they are also joined by the number 27, Nick Catlin, the England and Great Britain international, set to play tonight. And what a coup that is for the club to have someone of such pedigree and skill playing for them, so make sure you keep an eye on him as the game goes forward. Dan Faulkner is also playing. Unfortunately, Simon is not available tonight, but Dan will be in the defensive line once again. From a Surbiton perspective, well, it's a team that's packed full of talent, with plenty of international stars set to feature for them tonight. England's men not flying to Argentina for their Pro League games until Tuesday. So unlike East Grinstead and Wimbledon's women, who had some England players missing, Surbiton do have the majority of their complement of Englishmen available. That includes David Goodfield, who scored in both games against Spain in the Pro League last week, including a dramatic last-minute winner in the second game. Nick Park, who made his England's senior debut in that game, is also picked, as is Tom Sorsby for this one, while experienced Welsh international Gareth Furlong is also in the team, alongside former England and Great Britain player Luke Taylor, who announced his decision to step away from the senior programme just a couple of months ago. No James Gould for Surbiton, though, unavailable for this one, but still a team stacked with talent and goals. The aforementioned Taylor has been in ridiculous form across the last 2.5 seasons, including the first half of this one. He's nutted 52 goals for Surbiton, and his flicking prowess is well renowned, so Richard Curtis and his on-rushing defenders are going to have to be at their very best should Surbiton win any corners tonight. Ori Ogunlana is another one to watch in the Surbiton goal. The goalkeeper who shot to prominence really in the 2020 Super Sixes finals with a string of saves, being named player of the final in the match, and really grown into the role at the club since then, made his first 11 debut for the club this season and has featured in all of their matches so far. Makes goalkeeping look easy at times, when really it is quite a difficult art. So the East Grinstead players will have their work cut out to beat him, but plenty of international experience in this team as well. We've got Ross Stott, the Scottish international, Lewis Prosser, the most capped Welsh male player of all time, and Tim Deacon as well, the former England and Great Britain player who's come out of retirement this season to take on the player coach role for this team, and it's been great to see him back and firing on all cylinders. Just 8 minutes to go here. The team's still going through vigorous warm-ups. Just time to get yourself a cup of tea or an alcoholic beverage if you choose. It is that time of the evening, I guess. Settle back and watch what will promise to be a thriller here at Saint Hill between Surbiton and the hosts, East Grinstead. Here we go, ready for the resumption of the men's Premier Division. And it will be East Grinstead against Surbiton. East Grinstead in their home kit, white shirts, blue shorts, white socks, and Surbiton in their changed kit of black shirts with white shorts and black socks. As the teams been through their warm-ups, and they'll certainly need their warm-ups tonight. It's not a very warm evening at all. Just when you think spring is beginning to approach, you then find yourself standing on the side of a hockey pitch at 6 o'clock in the evening in February thinking, yeah, it's definitely not spring. But hopefully there'll be plenty of action to distract us from that here at East Grinstead. It's a decent crowd is starting to gather. Sure, East Grinstead will get lots of home support for this one. As I mentioned previously, the recent record against Surbiton isn't too great, but if you look at on paper, these two teams, East Grinstead are certainly the ones in form with 3 wins in their last 3 games, whereas Surbiton, after 7 straight wins at the start of the season, suffered 2 losses and a draw to slip down to 4th in the table. East Grinstead will be hoping to take advantage of that and continue their recent good streak and claim their first win over Surbiton since 2014 in the men's Premier Division. Final team talks, final huddles, and I can actually see a drum in the crowd, which is great to see. Should be a good atmosphere for this one here at St Hill. Let's just hope the on-pitch action matches up to the anticipation in the crowd. Moments away from pushback. East Grinstead against Surbiton, 6th against 4th in the table. It's going to be a cracker under the lights. The vuvuzelas are ready, the drums are ready, the players are ready. Just waiting for that first signal from the umpire to get this one underway, and it will be Wallace, Jamie Wallace, taking the pushback to Nick Catlin by the looks of it. Here we go then, underway in Sussex. East Grinstead against Surbiton. And it's the hosts who win the first 3 hits of the game. David Goodfield, slightly too eager there to win the ball back for his team. Clearly buzzing off the last time he touched a hockey ball in a competitive game, which was when he scored for England. Meanwhile, it's Gittins challenging early with Johnny Gall. And the Surbiton captain coming away with it. Attacking down the left-hand side is Goodfield once again. Jamie Golden up ahead of him. Decides to spin back inside. Plays the ball back into Ben Park. One of 2 Parks playing for Surbiton today. The other being Nick, who made his England debut last week. Here's Goodfield once again. A couple of early touches of the ball for him. Cannot find a way through though, and Hatherley tidies up with the help of Prosser. Back to Dan Faulkner, captaining the team tonight in place of his brother Simon, who is coaching on from the sidelines. And here's the first proper touch of the game for Wallace. Hat-trick hero from the last time out. Trying to find a way past Johnny Gall, lays it back instead to Prosser. Prosser under pressure from Goodfield. Manages to keep hold of the ball and swept out of play by Johnny Gall. Early pressure coming from East Grinstead, early position enjoyed by the hosts. It's Nick Park tackles Wallace. Wallace winning the free hit now off Park's foot on this right-hand side along the baseline. Will be taken by Prosser, the Welsh captain. To Faulkner. And across, first touch of the night for Ben Mackey. Ali Cliff trying to fire that one into the circle. Charge down there by Sorsby. Sorsby slips. Play carries on. Here's East Grinstead. Emmett into Clift. Clift into towards the circle. Gittins, and what a save by Ogunlana. First action of the game for the goalkeeper. Brilliant reflexes to kick that one away. Almost the opening goal of the game for East Grinstead, and Gittins got away from his man there, was free in the circle and just couldn't get enough of an angle on it to find what would have been the perfect start for his team. Brilliant start to the game though by East Grinstead. Enjoying plenty of the ball early on and forcing the game's first chance. And we mentioned Ogun Lana, who makes goalkeeping look so easy, and it's a fantastic save and he just seemed to shrug it off. Great work from the Surbiton goalkeeper. Dan Faulkner there putting in a tackle, leaving his man on the floor, but Surbiton still have the ball. Sorsby dribbling past one, runs into the shoulder of Catlin, wins himself the free hit. Sorsby takes it quickly, dribbling towards the circle. And eventually East Grinstead the ones who win the free hit. That will be taken by Tim Deakin, enjoying a good run in the team. Here's Catlin on his first appearance of the season for the club. Surrounded by several players trying to find a teammate. Wins himself the free hit. Here's Prosser. It's Deakin. Fired in towards the circle, and here's Gittins once again, had that early chance. And this time the free hit goes the other way. Much to the discern of most of the fans and indeed the benches and dugouts below me. Here come Surbiton. Tim Nurse exchanging with Nick Park. It's a hefty tackle there coming in by Ali Clift on Park and wins the free hit. Surbiton also boasting a new player in their ranks tonight in Adam Buckle, wearing number 21 for them, as Surbiton gets into the circle along the baseline. Ball is deflected behind for a long corner. Here's Adam Buckle playing his first game for Surbiton's first team this season tonight. Wearing number 21, the former England and Great Britain Youth Internationals. A free hit is given for a foul just outside the circle, off the ball. It's Tim Nurse who was sent flying. Sorsby looking to take it quickly, but was from the wrong place, so he's now put into the right place. Looking for an option, trying to take the ball 5 metres, and indeed it hasn't gone 5 before he entered the circle. And East Grinstead can clear with Faulkner to Clift. Here's Faulkner once again. We'll see plenty of the ball, you imagine, throughout the evening. Gittins, neat pass there up to Rob Cope. Cope making his first team appearance of the season, causing a nuisance already. Nurse wins the free hit and takes it quickly. Mackie intercepts, brought down by Catlin into Prosser. First chance of the way coming out from the East Grinstead fans as Wallace looking to get past Johnny Gould. Standing firm though is the Surbiton captain. Here comes Ben Boone. Wins himself the free hit. I think he wanted the advantage played there, but umpire, pulled it back. Here's Gareth Furlong, Welsh international. Key member of the Welsh team that qualified for their first ever World Cup back in October. Did so alongside Prosser. The two now facing off against each other in this evening's game. Here is Prosser, legend of Welsh sport, not just Welsh hockey. Very few Welsh athletes have ever received more caps than him. Indeed, maybe only Leah Wilkinson across all areas of sport. Not even the great Alan Wynne-Jones can quite match what they've achieved. That's a neat little pass there from Prosser into the path of Clift. That's good tracking back by a Surbiton player. And here comes Nick Park now racing forwards. Good tackle though, coming in. Cope looking to spin past Gould, wins the free hit. Catlin just takes his time before passing it out to the Hatherley. Hatherley up the line to Cope. Looking to slide in past Furlong. Furlong does well to knock it behind for a long corner. once again with the player coach, who aerials it perfectly for Hathaway, who takes it down well. Faulkner. East Grinstead enjoying most of the possession and territory early on. Certainly building from where they left off at the end of the first half of the season. Plenty of momentum early on. Gittins with an early chance, saved by Ogunlana. You feel like they're going to have to be at their very best today, East Grinstead, to get one past the goalkeeper. Meanwhile, here's Goodfield breaking forward, tackled by Mackie. Mackie played it off his foot, and here's Gall. Gall spinning in towards the circle, blocked off initially by Faulkner, and then free hit won by Deakin. And that's good in defence as well from East Grinstead so far. Surbiton have had a couple of promising situations, but very quickly the attacks have been snuffed out. And so far Richard Curtis has remained very much untroubled. As Sorsby there in quickly to try and intercept that one. Stick's gone flying. Dan Faulkner politely gives it back to him, and here's Catlin now. Catlin looking for a player in the circle. It is Cope, and it's just taken away from him by Luke Taylor. Can't help but concede the long corner though, but that's very well read by Taylor. 34 caps before he stepped away from the England and Great Britain setups a couple of months ago. Focusing now on playing for his club and running his gym, which he set up with his partner, both in business and in life as well, which is great to see and looks to be a success so far. Meanwhile, back on the pitch, here's Gall. Looking for a long ball forward towards Boone. Boone initially does well to control it. Had lost it, but has harried and fought back well to win it back. Lays it back here to Jamie Smith. Sam Spencer losing the ball to Rob Cope. Cope very much alone against several Surbiton defenders. Does well to find Emmett. Emmett across to Ross Stott. First time we've really seen him in this game. He fires it into towards the circle, but it's in between two attacking players there. Look like Ollie Lander and Luke Holland in the circle. He threaded the ball perfectly between them, and it was harmless enough in the end. Here is Taylor. And Furlong. Taylor with a wicked aerial forward. Boone does really, really well to bring that one down. Unfortunately, couldn't quite keep it in play. A fantastic effort there. But once again, East Grinstead have just snuffed out any threat that was coming towards their goal and happy to just knock the ball about at the back. Just build up territory and possession. Lovely ball by Faulkner out to this right-hand side. Gittins trying to get past one, but Buckle is there to snuff out the danger and fires it into Boone. Boone with players running either side of him, lays it back off to Nurse. Nurse into Sorsby, first time. Sorsby does well to get it back out to Nurse. Nurse with a dangerous ball into the circle. It looked to be touched on by Buckle, but he couldn't get the right connection on it, and it's harmlessly behind. But it's probably the most threatening of Surbiton have been so far, looking to move the ball quickly on the attack. 1-2 touch play. But no real threat yet to Richard Curtis's goal, which I'm sure even on a cold night like this, he'll be very happy to just be kept to a minimum, his workload. As a hefty challenge comes in there that sends Deakin to the floor from Boone. Here's Faulkner. Deakin to Stott. Hatherley on this right-hand side once again. Neat ball into Stott, trying to find his teammate Hatherley, but couldn't quite pull off the 1-2 as Surbiton take the sideline ball just inside their own half. Buckle. Taylor. Johnny Gall. Elder brother, of course, of James Gall, England international, who was unavailable for selection for this one. He and Dan Faulkner had a bit of a head-to-head in the Super Sixes finals day, which was Great for the spectators to see. Surbiton race towards the circle, but McBamra there this time in the perfect place to just snuff out the danger once again. And East Grinstead can bring it clear. Gittins trying to turn away from Buckle down this right-hand side. He's got 2 defenders for company and wins the sideline ball. Fantastic work there by Gittins. It'll be Hatherley just outside the 23 to take it. Nick Park there hassling, harrying, trying to win it back for the visitors, and actually concedes the free hit. He thought it had gone the other way, which Catlin feigns to take quickly and uses his experienced head to just take a moment, take it back to Deakin. Here's Dan Faulkner. Bamra. Into Prosser. Prosser out to this right-hand side, neatly touched on into the path of Gittins. Buckle across well. Can't keep it in though, so it's an East Grinstead sideline ball. Here's Catlin once again, looking for some help, trying to deflect it over the stick of Buckle, into the body, and a free hit once again to East Grinstead. Once again, enjoying and seeing lots of the ball at the moment. Not necessarily doing too much with it, but they won't mind that, keeping Surbiton quiet. Building into this game. Here's Faulkner into Gittins. Gittins has been lively so far. Gittins works his way into the circle along the baseline, tries to pull it back, asking for a corner. Long corner only, not a penalty corner. Indeed, it was Gittins who had the only real chance of the game with a deflection, which was well saved by Ogunlana from very close range. Here is Stott. Once again, East Grinstead happy to just take their time, knock it about at the back, try and create some gaps. And Bamra running down this left-hand side with Salisbury for company. Cuts back, can't quite get past the England man, but wins the free hit in the process. Catlin into Mackey. Ball deflected away from him, and now here's Goodfield. East Grinstead with a chance to break. Goodfield takes on Deakin and skins past him, trying to get past 2 more men. He's still got hold of the ball, looking for some support. Here it is with Johnny Gould, just left of centre of the pitch. Gould gets it in towards the circle, and Curtis lets it run all the way through. Smart goalkeeping there. And once again, Surbiton racing forward, looking to try and create something, but East Grinstead tracking back really well, not making it easy for them, and couldn't even get a circle entry there. So fantastic defence once again from the hosts, holding firm. Here's Nick Park now, once again looking to inject some pace for Surbiton, but he's on his own with Mackey and Faulkner for company. Cuts back. Lays it into the path of Spencer, who is happy to go back to Furlong and to Gall. Gall with the slide ball forwards. Into Salisbury. Salisbury crosses on the reverse. That's a dangerous ball, but there was no one there. And once again, nothing doing for Surbiton, no shots on goal for them just yet. In the last minute or so, just looking a touch more threatening than they have been. Looking pacey going forwards. They've scored goals for fun in the league so far this season, so you feel like East Grinstead are really going to have to be at their best to keep them out. Which, to be fair, Old Georgians did also in the last time Surbiton played, which was their first goalless game from an attacking perspective of the season. Nick Park into Spencer. Spencer with Stotts for company. Lays it back to Park. To Furlong. Furlong linking up with Gall once again. Gall going again for that slide ball into the circle, which Wallace almost picked up for East Grinstead after the deflection, but this was back again back in Surbiton possession. Gall again looking for that ball into the circle, which Catlin reads and cuts out and brings clear. Fantastic play there. Mackey looking for help, looking for support as we're into the last minute or so of this first quarter. Only one clear chance so far. Gittins looking to spin past Buckle, wins the sideline ball. Mackey takes into the path of Wallace. Wallace does really well to spin away from one, much to the delight of the East Grinstead fans. Ball comes in towards the circle, just runs away from Mackey. Mackey trying to fire it past Furlong, hits it into the shin, wins the free hit. Lovely piece of skill there by Wallace, who's really impressed in his First few appearances for the club, having joined at the start of this season. Catlin looking to quite literally run through the middle of two players and nothing doing, so Surbiton take it quickly. Trying to race forward is Sorsby, but he just can't get it past the defender. And once again, East Grinstead holding really firm. And there goes the whistle at the end of the first quarter. Only one chance of note, and a deflected effort by Louis Gittins. Really well saved by Oreo Gunlana. And it remains goalless. East Grinstead 0, Surbiton 0. First team talks of the way are over, and we are almost ready to resume action here at St Hill as East Grinstead look to continue where they left off in that impressive opening quarter, dominating much of the possession, creating the game's only real chance and snuffing out any real danger that was posed by Surbiton as well. It was a compact and composed performance, and certainly bodes well for this next 17.5-minute period. The ball fired into Wallace. Wallace going on the reverse, trying to find a teammate, but just too much on it for Gittins. As the crowd continues to grow, plenty of support here for the men's team. I'm sure some of the women's players who were back in action just a couple of hours ago will be out watching as well. Here's Goodfield into Spencer. It's a nice ball out there for Middleton. Spencer up against Faulkner, and Faulkner does well, conceding the long corner in the process, but snuffing out the danger once again. Taylor now for Surbiton as they just look to build some momentum of their own. Here's Furlong, looking to run in towards the circle, tackled by Gittins, and he can't quite get on the end of the pass that was aimed towards him to lead a counter-attack, and once again it's back with Surbiton as Nick Park spins away from one. Tucks it back nicely for David Goodfield. David Goodfield gets it across. It's deflected by Sam Hathaway. Great save by Curtis, and there's a goalmouth scramble. And the first action of the game done exemplary by their South African goalkeeper, Richard Curtis there. I think the actual touch off the pass from Goodfield was off Hathaway, forcing the goalkeeper to react quickly and keep it out and keep the scores level. Here's Hathaway. Prosser doing well to reach and control that one. It's a really lovely turn there by Middleton down the left-hand side, and he's fed in Nick Park once again. Goes firing the cross and wins himself the free hit. Forced to retreat, and here's Spencer. A few players slipping over as it just starts to get a little bit icy. It's very cold here. Not especially windy, but a cold evening compared to some of the milder ones we've had recently. Meanwhile, Surbiton breaking into the circle, winning a free hit just outside of it. It's number 32, Jamie Taylor. Spinning attempt at a pass into the circle, goes harmlessly behind, and once again, East Grinstead holding firm, but Surbiton just starting to find a little bit of momentum into this game. Nothing to cause too much panic in the defensive ranks yet, as great composure shown there by Prosser, spinning away from one and winning himself the free hit. And Mackie. Dan Faulkner. Hatherley with the ball up towards Catlin. Initially well intercepted by Spencer. Forced towards his own baseline. Helped out by Nick Park. And he may be only playing his first game of the season for the club, but Nick Catlin has already got his own chant going, which is great to hear. Great atmosphere from the crowd that are in tonight. Plenty of noise down from the dugouts with coaches and players alike bellowing instructions to each other. Surbiton with Nick Park looking to attack once more. But Catlin there, really well read, intercepted that one. Starting another attack for East Grinstead. Here's Wallace. Wallace trying to force away past Furlong, but ends up conceding the free hit to the Welshman. Very evenly contested game so far, this one. Both sides nullifying each other's attacking threats well. Yet to really spring into life. Sure, East Grinstead in particular won't mind that, given how free-scoring Surbiton can be. And here's Buckle now. Drilled across and really well read by Curtis to kick it clear, safely away from any attackers. Cross drilled in, but no one really on the end of it from a Surbiton perspective. Curtis taking no chances though and doing his job well. It's another chance for a cross, which is well cut out once again, and Mackie can bring it clear. Wallace just looking for some help and some support under pressure from Nurse. Trying to dribble his way out of trouble and wins the free hit, just the tall Canadian, much to the dismay of Tim Nurse, former Team Bath Bucks player. And Catlin. Prosser. Faulkner out to Clift on this left-hand side. His second first-team appearance of the season. Here's Deakin. Hatherley couldn't quite keep that one in play after the bobble. So Surbiton have possession once again, and Middleton will take the sideline play into Furlong. Once again, Surbiton will try and build from the back. That's a lovely touch on there by Nurse into the path of Sorsby. There's Ben Park into Nurse. Nurse goes for the slap ball into the circle. Raised quite high, but nothing given. And again, it is Surbiton who've spent the first 4 minutes or so of this quarter taking control of the ball, having not seen too much of it in the opening 17.5 minutes. But once again, there's a defender in the way to snuff out any danger as Hatherley brings it clear under some pressure and does well to win the free hit. Prosser. Ollie Lander looking for some support, finds it in the shape of Clift. It's a slightly loose pass there from Deakin, and Surbiton once again will take possession as it's just a little bit sloppy from East Grinstead. Nothing too worrying though so far for them. So they look to record their first win over Surbiton in more than 7 years, and certainly started the brighter of the two teams, but the 2020 Men's Premier Division champions just growing into this one. And here's Ben Park as Nurse is tackled by Emmett, who slips in the process. Several players falling to the deck at the moment under tricky conditions on a cold night. Prosser back to Deakin. Of course, for those of you who will have read it, it's a fantastic piece Tim Deakin did with England Hockey and the Hockey Paper earlier this season about his return to first team action after a serious injury. Thought he might not get back to this level. So it's great to see him back out on the pitch and looking really solid once again in defence for his club. So that ball is deflected out of play off an East Grinstead stick, so Surbiton will have possession. Winning a free hit down this right-hand side as they attack. Taylor firing the ball in towards the circle, gets a touch on. Surbiton appealing for a corner. And it's not a penalty corner, it's just a long corner that's been given. Don't seem overly happy about the decision, do Surbiton, but still got possession. Taylor once again with that fire in towards the circle. Curtis out to meet it, it's sort of stuck underneath him, and it's a corner this time. Slightly unfortunate there for Curtis. Came out to intercept that ball before it got through to Jack Middleton and got just stuck underneath him, and corner awarded. And this is where Surbiton pose a real threat. If it's not Luke Taylor, it's Gareth Furlong or someone else. They've got so many options at the top of the circle. But in Richard Curtis, a very tall man, very agile man, a great goalkeeper. He's pulled off some fantastic saves so far this season. Will he be required to make another one here? Surbiton with the aforementioned Taylor and Furlong at the top of the circle. Taylor with 15 goals already in the league so far this season. East Grinstead eventually in position. The ball comes back to Taylor, flicks low, and it's charged down brilliantly by Luke Emmett and bounced or hit him above the knee. So that's fantastic work there by East Grinstead. Surbiton such a threat from corners, and the first one nullified. Brilliantly charged down by Emmett. It's noticeable that a Vuvuzela was being played in the crowd just as the inject came in. I'm sure that wouldn't have had any effect on the players, but it's not something you hear every day in hockey. Not complaining though. It's the first real shot on goal that Surbiton have had. They've had some dangerous balls into the circle, and Curtis has been called out to deflect a couple of them, as well as also keeping out a deflection off his own player, actually, that was going in. So I'm sure he'll be glad that he didn't have to do anything there. As East Grinstead win a free hit just inside their own half. Here's Ross Stott into Catlin. Gets away from one and causes, I think it was Spencer, to drop his stick in the same time. As the ball forward is intercepted by Spencer and eventually tidied up by Goodfield as Emmett's stick is sent flying, and East Grinstead have the ball working in towards the circle. Great pick there from Furlong, and he really needed to make that because there were 2 or 3 East Grinstead players trying to race onto that. Fantastic piece of defending there, keeping chances to a minimum. Here is Furlong. Goodfield. Spencer to his left. Spencer goes to cross on the reverse, picked out by Sorsby. Sorsby shoots! And that's into the side netting. Curtis, I think, would have had it covered at his near post anyway. First, and probably closest shot East Grinstead have had to face so far. Tom Sorsby there. Yet to register a goal for England or Great Britain, but generally plays in a more defensive role than he does at club level. Plenty of venom in that shot though, but unfortunately for him, fortunately for East Grinstead, into the wrong side of the netting. The second ball is cleared off the pitch, and we can restart once again with Clift firing it into Wallace. Wallace trying to turn past Nick Park and does really well. Trying to get it through to Gittins, but it's cut out by Furlong, who's had a really good game defensively so far, and he now sets up a potential Surbiton attack. Brilliant turn by Sorsby there. Can he work his way into the circle? No, he can't. It's a good tackle in the end and a free hit one by Deakin. Sorsby just overrunning it as he was trying to charge in towards the circle. Big coming together between the two players, but both seem fine. And we can carry on. Final 5 minutes of this first half, and it's still 0-0. Either goalkeeper required to do too much. Ogunlana made the first save of the game. Curtis has had to clear a couple of crosses. Here comes Nick Park. He's looked really lively and energetic for Surbiton so far today, trying to turn inside of Prosser, but adjudged to have fouled him in the process. And again, East Grinstead holding really firm, looking really solid so far defensively. Bamra playing down the right, having started down the left, and ball up the pitch. Couldn't find a teammate, but forces Surbiton backwards at the very least. Furlong. It's Taylor to Nurse. Spencer. Surbiton more than happy to mirror what East Grinstead were doing in the first quarter and just building up from the back, taking their time. And now looking to go on the offensive through Goodfield. Back to Buckle. Into the path of Furlong. Furlong taking a more advanced position for this attack, as the ball is laid back to Nurse, who's just covering in his place. And here's Taylor. To Nick Park. Lovely turn there to get away from Wallace. Canadian sticks with him though, and he's forced to take it back to Goodfield. Turned by Boone, well read by Deakin. And once again, can be brought clear by Wallace. He's done really well there under pressure to win himself the sideline free hit. Bamra on this right-hand side. Nice inside ball to Stott, who turns away from one. Comes under pressure from Nurse and wins the free hit. Prosser. Now, here's Emmett. Emmett with the ball across just in front of Stott, and Spencer can bring it clear, and can he start a Surbiton counter-attack? Here's Ben Park. Trying to find a teammate, well read by Mackie. And here's Rob Cope in a bit of space. What's he going to do with it? He's only got Gittins ahead of him. He lays it off to Catlin instead. Catlin across to Bamra. Does well to stretch and keep that in. Plays that into the path of Prosser. Emmett up against Buckle. Forces it into the path of Cope before they come back for the free hit. Slightly robust tackles coming in there from Surbiton. Prosser now. Ball deflects off the leg of a Surbiton player just outside the circle. Can East Grinstead make the most of this opportunity? Prosser looking to move the required 5 metres before getting the ball into the circle. Does really well. Can he find a teammate? He pulls it back and it's just evades Catlin. And that's the best chance East Grinstead have had for some time, and just couldn't quite find a teammate. Could Prosser, after some really neat work down the right baseline to fashion some space and drag the ball back across. Meanwhile, here's Sorsby to Nurse. That's a very neat aerial and brought down well by Goodfield. Under pressure from Faulkner, trying to bulldoze his way through and wins the free hit. Last 30 seconds or so of this first half. Is there going to be an opening goal, or are we going to remain level? As a player or two, there's a couple of comings together there. Sorsby's down inside the circle, and Nurse and Faulkner have collided as well. Faulkner fires the ball in, and it's come towards Sorsby, has a bit of an air shot, misses, and eventually the free hit falls the way of East Grinstead, and could be the last chance of the first half, you feel. Indeed it was. So there we have it, a quiet, subdued affair in many parts, but I'm sure East Grinstead won't be too disappointed with that. They've looked solid and compact in defence. They had the first real effort of the game as Ogun Lana in the Surbiton in the Surbiton goal was forced into a good reflex save from Gittin's touch. Curtis in the East Grinstead goal has had a couple of crosses to cut out before Sorsby fired into the side of the goal. So it's all level here. East Grinstead 0, Surbiton 0.
The world is constantly in motion, moving fast, and it all runs on data. By the power of technology, we bring people together, wherever they are, and keep the data they depend on flowing round the clock. Our data center, cloud and mobility solutions support business-critical functions in the most innovative and demanding sectors, from genetic science and cancer research to autonomous vehicles and space exploration. We build automated data centers, driving sustainable energy, helping to conserve our planet. Our technology connects you to the data and the people you need, safely, securely, and reliably. Focus, powering your digital transformation.
So it's 0-0 here between East Grinstead and Surbiton. In the first game, both are playing in the men's Premier Division top 6, with the league having split into two for the second half of the season. For those of you who may not be aware or may have missed it, the top 6 teams will each play each other home and away. Another 10 games in total for each club, with the winner of the league at the end of the season, becoming the men's Premier Division champions for the 2021-22 season. As things stand, it seems to be a 4-horse race between Old Georgians, Hampstead and Westminster, Surbiton, and another club who I've quite embarrassingly forgotten the name of. With Holcombe and East Grinstead also in the top 6, though, there's plenty of time for them to make up the gap and really give themselves a shot at the title. Surbiton, of course, the champions from the last time the league was played back, or last time the league season was completed back in 2020. It feels a long time ago now, and a lot has happened in the world since then. So, can they hold on to their title, or will they be usurped by one of the other teams around them? Of course, the other team I forgot to mention was their actual local rivals, Wimbledon, whose women put in an impressive performance today to reinvigorate their title credentials in the Vitality Women's Premier Division top 6. They currently sit on 26 points, with East Grinstead's women on 27 following the loss. Draws for Surbiton and Hampstead and Westminster mean they're both on 28, so 4 teams covered by just 2 points at the top of that league. It's going to be very intriguing, as it will be in the men's league. Surbiton will of course be looking for a victory today, but East Grinstead have been holding really firm so far. Haven't really looked like conceding and have had the best chance of the game. The two teams just going through their team talks with their various coaches, and we'll be restarting in a few minutes' time, so make sure to stick with us. The songs are being sung, the drum is being banged, the vuvuzela was being blown, but seems to have gone quiet for the moment. But we are ready to get back underway for this game here between East Grinstead and Surbiton. A close, evenly contested affair in the first half, both teams having a couple of clear chances apiece, but nothing more. Both defences holding solid. These two teams have played out a 0-0 draw once before in the league, a long time ago. From my perspective, I'm sure all of you watching at home will be hoping for that not to be repeated tonight. Just waiting for the umpires to confirm we're ready to go, and we'll be back underway here at East Grinstead, with Surbiton in possession, attacking from left to right as you look at it on your screens. And immediately the press is there from Emmett and winning the ball back, and that's exactly what he and his team would have wanted, getting straight back into possession, looking to build forwards. Here's Catlin. Great to see him back on a hockey pitch, of course. Such a wonderfully gifted player for so long. Gittins doing really well to win that back off Taylor and winning the free hit. Deep inside Surbiton territory. Prosser will take it. Wallace just outskilling himself almost there as he tried to force his way down the baseline, and Surbiton can bring it clear. That sort of attack there follows a familiar pattern from what we've seen throughout, really. Both teams getting into decent positions, but just unable to really create too much or get the ball into the circle. That clearly certainly been a defensive masterclass from both teams so far, and you feel like it's going to take something pretty special to unlock that. Here's Nurse. East Grinstead holding a really good shape, forcing Surbiton to go backwards before they can go forwards, and Gittins trying to put the pressure on there. Taylor does well. And Sorsby wins the free hit, turns inside, and it's taken off by Faulkner, but it hadn't quite retreated 5. Taylor, Nurse, Furlong. Lays it off for Nick Park. England debutant last weekend, impressed in his first 2 appearances against Spain. A 6-1 victory in the first game and a thrilling 3-2 last gasp win in the second. And England's men and women travelling out this week to play Argentina next weekend. But meanwhile, here's Taylor down the left-hand side, trying to get past Faulkner, lays it back, fired in towards the circle, but easily cut out by Hatherley, who's got time to spin and bring it away. Emmett couldn't quite find Catlin there. And Surbiton once again have possession. Here is Furlong. Into Park. Wins the sideline. She tried to take quickly, but didn't have too much support and forced to go backwards once again. Taylor. Gittins harrying and hassling and winning possession back for his team. Faulkner looking for some support, looking for some options. Fires it out to Deakin. Deakin likewise now looking to see which pass is best, taking his time and running past Middleton and winning the free hits. Attempted pass by Mackie into Catlin, couldn't quite reach his target. And then that clearly striking the body of Mackie as he tried to intercept that one and race forward. Middleton, a neat, slightly disguised pass up to Nurse. Nurse gets it into the circle, easily read by Faulkner. And a free hit goes the way of East Grinstead, much to the support of the fans. Plenty of noise being made on this quite chilly February evening. Here's Clift. Neat turn to get past 1. Gets past 2 and gets past the 3rd. Very well done. And slide pass across the pitch. Makes its way across to Hatherley. Hatherley just stops, checks backs and finds Mackie. Mackie with a lovely aerial forward towards Gittins. Can Gittins bring it down? It was just an awkward bounce. Great idea though, and positivity from East Grinstead. That's what we like to see. And Catlin there working back really well to intercept inside the Surbiton half and win the ball back. Gets a free hit. No immediate rush to take it East Grinstead. I think they're just happy to regain possession for the moment. Still a long way to go in this one. Happy to keep it tight and compact. It's a very intriguing battle, this one so far. Faulkner, shaped to go for the aerial, instead decided to pass it across to Deakin. It's Hatherley trying to get past Middleton and winning the free hit. Emmett, neat control, fires the ball out left but intercepted by Goodfield, and now Surbiton looking threatening. Goodfield with Golden to his right and Gould to his left, finds Gould. Just forced to stop and check back by Faulkner, really good defensive play, does concede the free hit though. But again, the attacking impetus and momentum is gone, and Surbiton just going to take their time. And Taylor looking menacing. flings it into the circle. It's charged down, and the shot comes in and hits Curtis in the face. And what a save by the goalkeeper. Ball bouncing around from Taylor's shot. Cross-come shot into the circle. It was Goodfield who smashed it, and Curtis positions himself brilliantly, stayed strong, and the ball smacked him in the helmet and deflected away out for a long corner, which East Grinstead have cleared. First real chance of the second half, and the goalkeeper in the perfect position once again, and testament to the strength of goalkeeper helmets nowadays. That's hitting flush on the grill. He's barely even flinched. Not particularly happy though, is Curtis, berating a couple of his defenders there. But it's still level here. It's definitely Surbiton's best chance of the game though. The other sort of real clear opportunity came when Salisbury fired a shot on the reverse into the side of the goal. Prosser trying to find Mackie. Goodfield cuts it out but can't control it. Mackie once again. Hatherley down this right hand side. Trying to find Cope, but it just evades him and is out for a Surbiton ball. Spencer now. To Furlong. Furlong, who rejoined Surbiton this season after a couple of years playing in Holland. Taylor with a really long aerial, and a corner is given. Deakin deemed to have been intruding in the space you're supposed to give an attacking player if the ball is going towards them from an aerial. So a second corner of the game for Surbiton. The first one was brilliantly charged down by Emmett, and he's going to have to be similarly quick off the mark to thwart the threat of Taylor and Furlong, who are menacingly making their way forwards towards the top of the circle. They've not been able to create too much in open play of Surbiton. Even that last shot that Curtis saved came from a long corner or a free hit. The Vuvuzela goes off once again. Be interesting to see if that continues as the injector plays the ball in. It looks like Furlong is the most likely candidate, although Taylor's there as well. Slightly shorter run up for him. As Middleton prepares to inject. It comes back, and an early runner. So East Grinstead lose a player, and Surbiton will go again. It's Dan Faulkner it was who broke the line early, so just the three defenders and the keeper now for East Grinstead from this corner. It looked like it was going to be Furlong who was going to flick that one before the umpire halted play. Or they go for the same routine. East Grinstead just taking a bit of time to just reset themselves. And we go again. Looks more likely to be Furlong once again, and Furlong flicks it! You don't stop those, and Surbiton have the lead. Gareth Furlong with his third of the season, a rasping flick. Not much Richard Curtis could have done about that. And it is the visitors who take the advantage in this one. We mentioned before that corner was taken, that's been Surbiton's go-to all season, whether it be Taylor or Furlong. And this time it was the Welshman who fired home. It'd be interesting to see how the hosts respond to that as Faulkner tries to add some impetus, but Clift can't control that. Will Surbiton be buoyed by that and potentially go on a bit of an attacking spree? Taylor now. To Furlong. Lovely aerial ball out to Nick Park. Controls it well. Closed down quickly by Faulkner, but manages to get away from him. Park into the circle, drags it back. Cut out by a defender. Prosser in a bit of difficulty in the corner, but it is outside of the circle. Under pressure from Park, and does well to draw the foul, using his experience and win the free hit. Momentum has certainly swung into Surbiton's favour now. Can East Grinstead reply with anything? Bamra under pressure does well to find Faulkner. Deakin into Hatherley. Just the Surbiton pressure, you just noticed they're charging down the ball a bit more, as exemplified there by Salisbury, trying to run past Deakin, plays it into the foot, picked up by Ben Park, really well intercepted there by Faulkner. That was a crucial interception by the defender, because there were 2 or 3 players in the circle waiting for that, and East Grinstead now looking to attack themselves down the other end, but the ball goes loose and Buckle, in his first appearance for Surbiton's first team this season, tidies up. Goodfield concedes the free hit, which Wallace takes quickly, trying to get past Buckle. The ball bounces up, another free hit for East Grinstead. Wallace once again driving towards the circle. Goodfield does well to read it, intercept and bring it clear. Can't get past the stick of Lander, but it is an illegal touch, and Surbiton have thwarted the danger for now and can bring it clear once again with Spencer and Gall. Taylor. Gall fires it forward, cut out by Faulkner. Nice pass into Lander. Youngster trying to bring it forwards. Trying to get past 3 players, takes a tumble and does well to win the free hit. Here's Gittins, takes it quickly into Rob Cope. Cope with Taylor for company, tries to spin inside him, hits a foot, wins the free hit. Here's Mackey, spins away from one, but forced to retreat backwards. Surbiton really got their press going in this second half. Faulkner racing towards the circle. Out to Bamra. Bamra once again, there's not much on for him, so he's forced to go backwards. Surbiton looked really well set, really composed, good shape. Difficult to break down at the moment, but that's a very neat turn by Mackey to get past Goodfield in towards Gittins, trying to find it into Wallace. He couldn't quite play it into the path of the Canadian, and that was a shame, because you feel like if Wallace could have got that, he was in with a good chance of running in towards the circle and getting a shot away. It's just those little moments that aren't quite going the way of the hosts right now. Still got more than 20 minutes to play in this one, though. And it's only a 1-goal lead that Surbiton hold, courtesy of that ferocious flick by Furlong. Here's Catlin. Faulkner to Hatherley. Wallace under pressure. Does well to win it back, though. Given away, though, by East Grinstead. Chance for Surbiton to attack. Nurse racing forward. Got some real speed going there. What's he going to do? He tries to pick out Nick Park to his left. Park on the right-hand side of the circle. Gets it in. Really well read and cut out. I think that was by Mackey. And Gittins trying to turn his way out of trouble. Cope and Prosser. Given away, though. Nick Park. Trying to get past Bamra. Defender holds firm and gets it out for a Surbiton sideline ball, or actually a long corner, which Goodfield will take. Here is Furlong across to Taylor. Furlong to Park. East Grinstead got a good defensive shape, not creating too many holes that Surbiton players can run into. Furlong. Tackled by Cope, but it just bounces up into the body. And free hit goes the way of the visitor Surbiton, which is Ben Park takes quickly out towards his namesake Nick. Trying to get past Bamra, plays it into the foot. And once again, Surbiton go backwards. Taylor. That ball is deflected out for a long corner, but actually given as a free hit, must have come off the foot. Here's Luke Taylor. Harassing there is David Goodfield, using his fast hands and his strength to try and get into the circle. Wins himself a free hit just outside of it. Luke Taylor flings it in towards the circle, deflected at the near post and wide. I think that was by Jack Middleton there in front of Curtis. Indeed it was. In a good place there was Middleton. I just couldn't quite turn it on target, and chance goes a-begging. Can East Grinstead make them pay for that? Here's Gittins, just runs it just slightly too far ahead of him, and Gaul can intercept, and here is Middleton once again. Middleton turns past a couple of players, gets it past Gittins. Now here's Sorsby on this right-hand side. Checks his options, shape to fire it into the circle, takes a slip. Middleton smashes the ball into the circle, it comes all the way through. Golden at the back post, thwarted by Curtis. Nurse fires it in, takes a big deflection. Curtis and Golden both going for it, neither gets it, and it's a long corner. Surbiton trying to ram home the advantage here and get a second goal. Curtis alert once again. It's going to have to continue to be Golden, who's just woken up, hasn't seen much of the ball yet. Fired that across, and Catlin got it clear. Here's Gittins. Can a counter-attack now be mounted by the hosts? Ball just runs away there from Ollie Lander. And Surbiton can attack once more as we enter the last 90 seconds or so, I believe, in this third quarter. Luke Taylor with a long aerial. Oh, the control by Sorsby, trying to get it in on the reverse. That would have been a sensational cross, but it was an air shot in the end. Catlin fires it in towards Gittins. Gittins trying to win to the free hit, but Luke Taylor does well. Gets it through into Sorsby once again. Sorsby just a little bit too physical there for the liking of the umpire. Gives away the free hit. And that's given away here, and here comes Nurse. He's got some space to run into. Tries to play the ball into the circle, hits a foot just outside of it. Nurse goes for a run, taking it quickly. Down this right baseline, lifts it back across, and it's Hathley who just nudges it behind for a long corner. And East Grinstead just have to hold it out now for the last few seconds of this quarter. Furlong smashes it in, takes a big deflection, goes wide off an East Grinstead stick. Gaul, Furlong, Taylor, Gaul, well picked by Wallace. Ball comes loose and is fired back across the circle, all the way out. That may be the last chance we have in this third quarter. Indeed it is. That's the second or third time that's happened to me today. And the whistle goes. So it is Surbiton who have the lead, thanks to Gareth Furlong's third of the season. A rasping penalty corner that Curtis could do nothing about. That came moments after Curtis used his face to save an effort. East Grinstead holding firm, though, still well in this game. All to play for heading into the final quarter. It's East Grinstead 0, Surbiton 1. A big roar from the crowd, and the Vuvuzelas are going as we enter the final quarter of this game. East Grinstead trailing by just that solitary goal in what's been quite an even affair. And they certainly feel as though they'll deserve at least a point from this. But can they find an equaliser? We'll find out in the next 17 minutes or so. It's Surbiton, though, who starts off with the ball. Park cutting back inside nicely. Sorsby lays it off for Gould. And Furlong. Well, it's certainly a different affair to the 10-goal thriller they shared in the indoor Super Sixes semi-finals, but it's no less an intriguing game as Surbiton come in towards the circle, and a foot is found just inside of it, and it's the third corner of the game for the visitors. First one was charged down, second one was scored. What can they do from this third one? Once again, it's Taylor and Furlong stepping forward. Two most likely candidates. And it'll be Middleton once again to inject. Taylor with 15 goals already this season. East Grinstead will be hoping he doesn't add to that tally tonight. So once again, East Grinstead taking their time getting ready to defend this one. But we are eventually ready to go. Taylor and Furlong at the top of the circle. It comes back, and this time it's Luke Taylor who flies low, and that's a good foot save by Curtis. Stood firm, stuck out a big right boot and kicked it clear. Long corner though, ball comes back in towards the circle, but it hadn't gone the required distance. And East Grinstead can bring it clear, still trailing by just the one. Another fine save there by Curtis. Just adding up to his collection for the season so far. Of course, he sparked wild scenes when these two last met at the Super Sixes finals day with his save off David Goodfield, booking his side's place in the final. Actually, it wasn't David Goodfield. He saved David Goodfield in the first one, and then it was Jamie Golden the second one. And he's done well so far to just keep the score to 1 for Surbiton, who've taken control of the ball. As soon as I say that, it's given away, but Cope can't quite control it. He does win the free hit though. And Prosser takes it quickly with Catlin. He's got some room to run into. He's got two ahead of him. He spins away from one, and he's taken out somewhat robustly there by Tom Sorsby. And that's going to be the first card of the game. Green card, I believe that was for Sorsby. So it's Surbiton are now down to 10 players, and that's a shame. Very robust tackle by Sorsby. Very illegal. So Surbiton have the advantage on the scoreboard, but it's East Grinstead who have more players on the field right now. Can they make the most of that? Nick Park, who's looked really lively so far, winning the free hit. And here he is once again. Back to Luke Taylor. Here's Furlong. Neat turn by David Goodfield. gets the free hit off Mackie as well. Goodfield takes it. Looking to try and find some room down the left-hand side, but eventually outskills himself. Gets a big, ironic cheer from the home supporters as well. Happened right in front of them. Here's Clift. Looking for some help, some support. Finds it in the shape of Gittins. Gittins into Wallace. Ball goes out for a long corner for the hosts. Catlin will take it. Vastly experienced player. Deakin, Prosser, Clift. Deakin. Bamra looking for some support, just forced to go backwards again. Surbiton holding their shape well despite being a player down. It's a lovely crossfield ball though to Clift. Switching the momentum of the attack. Clift fires it in towards the circle, cut out by Goodfield. Has been all over the pitch today, defensively and offensively. Hemmed in his own corner, but does well to win the ball for Surbiton. He's back on come Salisbury from his suspension. Was indeed a green card that he picked up, I think. So Surbiton back to their full complement. Still leading 1-0 in this game. Here is Luke Taylor once more to Nick Park. Does really well to spin away from Gittins, but Gittins intercepts the pass, and here's Catlin. Is it a chance to attack? Really neat spin and good work there by Catlin. Wins the free hit off Spencer. It's given away by Faulkner, but it adjudged to have hit a foot. So free hit for East Grinstead. It's been into the last 10 minutes or so of this one. Faulkner fires it into the circle, but Gittins can't get on the end of it properly, and it goes awry. Just those little moments that East Grinstead really need to stick for them. Furlong to Nurse, spins away from Catlin. Salisbury. Taylor. Here's Buckle. Taylor once again across to Nurse. Neat ball into Spencer. Spencer through the legs of Catlin to the path of Salisbury. Good one touched off there by Salisbury. Free hit given away of Surbiton. And here's Furlong. Luke Taylor looking for some options, finds it Spencer. First time ball into the circle. Goodfield looking for the free hit, for the corner for himself, but gives away the free hit. Again, East Grinstead holding firm in defence, protecting Curtis as much as they can. That's a really neat piece of play there by Catlin. He's done that a few times before. Wins the free hit. Tries to break through Goodfield, loses his stick in the process, but wins himself another free hit. Here's Prosser. No real way through at the moment for East Grinstead. They had that chance with Gittins in the first quarter that Ogunlana saved. And here is Gittins once more. Can he make something happen? Unfortunately for him, he can't. It's cut out. Nurse with a nice ball up to Salisbury. Salisbury with Golden ahead of him. Jamie Golden, the Scottish international, up against Tim Deakin, and Tim Deakin does really well there to intercept it and win the free hit. Can Hathley bring it clear? Yes, he can. Gittins just inside the Surbiton half. It's now gone backwards. Still 8.5 minutes to go in this one. So no real splash and dash time yet. So East Grinstead can build from the back, but give the ball away. Here is Taylor. Taking his time looking for options. Nick Park forward into Jamie Taylor. Can't get away from Prosser, but does win the free hit for Surbiton. Johnny Gall into the circle, in towards Middleton. Middleton does well. Jamie Golden goes down, and it's another corner for the visitors. East Grinstead fans and players alike aren't particularly happy with the awarding of that corner, but umpire's decision is final. Of course, no reviews in the men's Premier Division. And another chance for Taylor and Furlong to step forward and add to their tallies for the season. 3 corners so far. The first flicked by Taylor, charged down by Emmett. The second scored by Furlong, and the third was saved down low to his right by Curtis. What will happen on this occasion? Middleton to inject once again. As again, it's just taking the East Grinstead defenders a bit of time to sort their gear out. But they're ready. Taylor and Furlong primed once again. And it's Furlong again, and it's really well charged down once again by Emmett. I think another corner has been awarded. Nope, and it's been overturned because it was too high. And Emmett does really well once again, charging off from the corner. Pure bravery. That's exactly what his team need, and I think he's hurting a little bit at the moment, which hopefully it's nothing too serious. There's a bit of discussion down there on the pitch as to whether that was illegally high or not, but once again, as we said earlier, the umpire's decision is final. Emmett comes running off, and by the way he's walking, it suggests he may have been hit somewhere which might be a bit more sensitive than others. Buoyed by that fantastic piece of bravery in defence, can East Grinstead now go forth and find that equaliser that they've been searching for a little while now, Furlong having scored in the third quarter. Here's Deacon into Hatherley. Catlin under pressure once again, draws the foul. That's really good experienced play and trying to break through Johnny Gall there. Wallace been kept quite quiet as the big Canadian. Hasn't had any real chances of note to add to his 8 goals that he's already scored so far this season. Smashed in towards the circle, tried to be touched on by Gittins. Cope is in there trying to put some pressure on, but Goodfield is once again back in defence and helping out and winning the free hit. 5 minutes or so to go in this one still. Plenty of time to find an equaliser. As I was speaking about with Tess out in the women's game, reflecting on an international where Australia scored twice in 20 seconds. So all is still possible in this game. Here's Catlin winning the free hits, using his body well. Lovely ball out to Gittins on this left-hand side. Gittins into Wallace in the circle. He says the chance he needs. Wallace scores! What an equaliser that was! And they have really enjoyed that in the stands here. And I was saying just moments ago that Jamie Wallace had been quiet today. First chance, first goal, his 9th of the season. Brilliant pass by Catlin. Gittins with a vision to get that ball into the circle. Wallace picked it up, controlled it, and on the reverse, slotted it into the corner. Nothing Ogunlana could do. And it's all level here. It's East Grinstead 1, Surbiton 1, with 4.5 minutes still to play. Certainly got the crowd going even more than they were before, as Nick Park looks to try and immediately restore Surbiton's lead. Taylor trying to get that ball into the circle, charged down by Clift. And here's Cope with some space to run into. Clift, no one ahead of him, and he just can't quite keep hold of the ball. Actually hits the back stick, and Park can just tidy it up and gets it across to Jamie Taylor. So Emmett looks to have shrugged off his injury and ready to come back on for the final few minutes of this one. Goodfield. Sorsby into the circle, off the post, and Curtis reacts really well, but it's been given as a corner for deliberately kicking the ball behind, I think. I don't think Curtis is particularly happy with that, and none of the EG players are really. I think it was instinctive reflexes by the goalkeeper, having seen that ball hit the post after the initial ball into the circle. Didn't take an attacking touch, but umpire's decision is final once again, and it is another corner for Surbiton. Emmett, having charged down the last one, hasn't come back on yet, so a different defensive battery will be charging this one down. And Surbiton have threatened from corners and scored from one. Can they add another? Once again, it's Taylor and Furlong. Furlong has had 4 of the corners so far, and Taylor just the 1 effort. Top goal scorer in the league, though, is Luke Taylor. I feel like his time will come soon. This time it'll be Tom Sorsby to inject. Taylor is the man you'd say he's looking primed and ready. And it is indeed. Luke Taylor fires it low, and it goes in. What a flick that is. And Surbiton have restored their lead just moments after East Grinstead have equalised. It's Luke Taylor's 16th of the season, and it's a stunning flick into the corner. Well, that sets up an exciting final 3 minutes here. This game really is bursting into life. Prosser to Faulkner. East Grinstead have got to go all out attack, you feel now, to try and get themselves another equaliser. 1 shot, 1 goal for Wallace, though. If he carries on with that ratio and just gets 1 more chance, that's all he needs. Deakin to Clift. Back to Deakin. Still time to just play it around the back and work some space. Just over 2 minutes to go in this one. A lot can still happen. Hatherley to Mackie across the field to Deakin. Surbiton holding firm, really good positioning, considering that free hit. Clift can't take quickly from that position into the final 2 minutes here. Mackie to Deakin, trying to get past Ben Park. Hits the stick, bounces up. Concedes the free hit though. And Deakin across to Prosser. To Faulkner, good pressing by Golden and Goodfield, managing to work around it. Hatherley goes to cross, charged down by Johnny Gould. Here's Deakin. Prosser. Clift. Prosser. It's neat work, but it's not going forward just yet. Hatherley in space on this right-hand side. Faulkner back across to Deakin. Just struggling to get into the circle. Catlin trying to make something happen. So is Rob Cope, but Gall is there to mop up and win the free hit. Surbiton are going to be in absolutely no rush to take this overly quickly. They hold the 2-1 lead. Both teams have worked really hard. It's just that clinical corner finishing that's seen Surbiton take the lead in this one. East Grinstead haven't actually had a penalty corner today. Wallace's goal coming from open play. And here's Goodfield trying to use his skill to win a free hit, which he has done. And Sorsby being told by his teammates to go to the corner. Can't quite get that far, but is keeping it trapped along the sideline. Wins another free hit. Once again, Surbiton in no rush to take this. East Grinstead have got to try and force something here. Cope stands firm, but gives away a free hit as Faulkner wins the ball back. Fires it in towards Gittins. Gittins trying to turn away from his man and falls to the floor. And the full-time whistle goes. And it's Surbiton who take the victory here, courtesy of penalty corners from Gareth Furlong and Luke Taylor in what was a really well-fought and even contest between these two sides. Certainly a much closer game than earlier this season. Jamie Wallace, with his 9th of the season, had drawn East Grinstead level with just a few minutes remaining, but Luke Taylor scored his 16th of the season, his 53rd in the last 2.5 seasons, to give Surbiton the win. But what a game it was. Intriguing, tight, tense. And for East Grinstead, that bodes really well for the rest of the season. Join us again when East Grinstead are back in action soon.